Roman Reigns was injured at WWE SummerSlam. A scrapped Raw storyline made its return on last night's Raw, and we have an update on Brock Lesnar's status with the WWE in this lovely news video right now. Just in case you missed SummerSlam at the weekend, Roman Reigns won.
Yay!
They were doing this tribal combat thing, which clearly stated that nobody could get involved until Jey and Roman's match had come to an end. Yeah. But Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso got involved.
It doesn't make sense, Ross. Make it make sense.
As if somebody would do a deep dive into the ending and try to make it make sense, which I did on the channel right now. Please go and watch it. But according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Roman Reigns was hurt during that tribal combat match with Jey Uso at SummerSlam. What more has Dave been saying there, Frazier?
He's unsure when exactly Reigns suffered the injury and what the nature of it is at this current point in time. Outside the fact that it was early on in the match, he's not sure which spot it took place, but I mean, it was a 36-minute long match, and there's a few spots. I wouldn't, watching it myself, you wouldn't know he was injured. No. He got through it very, very well, but the fact that it happened early on, it probably has made it worse going through that entire match. It was quite a full-on match. Reigns' schedule going forward is currently unknown past this Friday, where he's meant to appear on SmackDown in a Hail to the Chief segment with Jimmy Uso, which I feel like, again, it's a step backwards. We're moving a step back with Jimmy.
My first thought there was the Hail to the Bus Driver thing off The Simpsons. Just imagine Jimmy and Jay sitting there going, Hail to the Tribal Chief, Tribal Chief, Tribal Chief, Hail to the Tribal Chief.
That'd be good fun. We should get that. You should be booking these shows.
But what was I going to say? Obviously, I think I could exclusively reveal the injury that Roman Reigns suffered was a stitch during his entrance, because it took 5 whole minutes for him to get down to the ring.
Long, didn't
and
it?
He must have been knackered even though he was moving at a snail's pace. The schedule thing going forward as well, I think, was news before SummerSlam. I think a lot of people expected Roman Reigns to be taking an elongated break from the company, which I think is why they went for the Jimmy versus Jey feud to kick off and headline a couple of pay-per-views while Roman Reigns is gone. So will plans have changed off the back of this? I don't know.
I'm unsure. I feel like we'll maybe, as long as the injury, he can recover in the time he's off, he'll be back for Survivor Series. You know, it's the next big 4. That's the speculation anyway, that he will be back for Survivor Series. I just don't know what they're going to do if this is actually quite a severe injury. Do they hold him off until WrestleMania, like Royal Rumble?
I don't know, Fraser, but this Hail to the Tribal Chief thing is not going down, because Jimmy can't forget what Roman did to him. This entire strand of the Bloodline storyline kicked off when Jimmy turned on Roman.
This is all Jimmy's doing. The Tribal Chief, all that stuff is Jimmy's fault right now, and he's gone back.
And if the elders are going, well, Jimmy, you must obey our orders, well, why didn't the elders say anything when Jimmy turned on Roman in the first place? Well, what were they doing? That's true,
that was like 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Yeah, what you doing, Afra and Seeker? I know you're big fans of the channel. The Wild Samoans. But yes, we'll have to see what happens on Friday. Jimmy Uso has got a lot of explaining to do. We have news of a scrapped storyline which made its return on Monday Night Raw. Tensions are building in the Judgment Day, Fraser.
They are indeed. Backstage on Raw last night, we saw a segment where Finn Balor was talking to JD McDonough, and then Damian Priest wanders up and he's like, whoa, can I get a word with you, Finn? And he's like, you can say whatever you want in front of my guy, JD McDonough, because they've got a lot of history there. As the segment continued, McDonough gave his thoughts on the faction and kind of the tensions going on in the faction. Damian Priest obviously has got the Money in the Bank briefcase. Finn Balor had the world title match at SummerSlam, and Priest was questioning why McDonough was even allowed to speak at all in this. Usually we see the Judgment Day kind of beating up anyone that talks to them.
Yeah.
And it seems weird. So maybe we know that it was a halted storyline going into the summer. It looked like JD McDonough wanted to call up to the main roster, was going to get involved in Judgment Day, and that kind of got pushed back and delayed.
The subtle Triple H booking of him walking on the back of a shot so everyone could see him, but it was subtly done.
Very subtle. And there was the shot with Finn was just above on a balcony watching him. It was like,
if you blinked, you might have missed him.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have missed him. He was on there for a full 5 seconds. But that's Triple H's subtlety in his booking.
It's very subtle, but I'm kind of hoping that if he does get involved in Judgment Day, it still keeps the rest of the group together, because they're one of the most entertaining things on TV right now.
They are, and I think the breakup angle, if it's going to be elongated, would be helped with someone like JD. Don't McGoogle me. Getting involved. Don't Google him. Don't do any of the Google work. Or do if you want to find out stuff, I guess. But yeah, he's a fantastic professional wrestler. Obviously, big fan of NXT. Sat here, him being like I was compared him to the human centipede doctor.
That's good. Silence in a while. That's good, yeah.
There's an amalgamation of both of those things. Hanging upside down, being a creep and whatnot. Not in the Google, that doesn't matter. But he's a very good wrestler. So him getting involved in the main roster with something like juicy to lock his jaws onto, figuratively, it would be a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
News of a former AEW person signing with the WWE. Who is it, and what brand of the WWE is he going to?
It's your favorite brand, Ross. It's NXT.
NXT.
According to PW Insider, Brian Pillman Jr. is set to be at tonight's tapings for NXT in Orlando, and the report notes that he is believed to have signed with the company, but there is no guarantee that he'll appear on the broadcast. Do you think he's a good fit for NXT?
It's an interesting one because obviously he's got the history there with his dad being involved in professional wrestling and whatnot. I think he's got the look, the mullet is fantastic. He's obviously all right in the ring as well, but I said this on a news video a few weeks ago, it always feels like with Brian Pillman Jr., he always does something behind the scenes that scuppers what's going on in front of the camera. So it'd be interesting to see what happens, and it'd be interesting to see as well in NXT what gimmick he's going to get. Will he just be his dad's son? Could he be something different, like an offshoot of like the loose cannon Brian Pillman or something like that? Could he be Flying Brian Jr. again like he was in AEW? I don't know.
If they bring him in as Brian Pillman Jr., it'd be fun to do a loose cannon gimmick, right?
He could be a pencil.
It could be a pencil.
His dad fought a pencil famously, so he could literally be that pencil grown up.
It could be that.
It's
like
NXT,
like
Fraser.
It is NXT. Anything can happen. Yeah, it's a lot of chaos going on in NXT, but I'm excited to see what he potentially does if he appears on the show.
Yeah, and I just hope he keeps the mullet. Up the mullets.
Up the mullets.
Up the mullets, indeed. Now, Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam at the weekend, of course, he shook Cody Rhodes' hand in defeat, a massive sign of respect, as Ali G used to say back in the day. But according to a report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Brock Lesnar is set to be gone from the WWE for the rest of the year. This is sad news.
He's been on like pretty much every single pay-per-view since the start of the year, bar Money in the Bank. And it's like, it's going to be strange not to have Brock Lesnar about, because he has actually had one of the better runs over the past, year and a half
Ever since he
returned.
put the cowboy hat on, got the top knot, been great, hasn't he?
Cowboy Brock. He's been really, really entertaining. But yeah, it kind of sucks to hear that he's not going to be around for the rest of the year, especially after the first news of Reigns being out injured. If he's going to be away. I mean, obviously they do have kind of a decent main event scene at the moment. You've got your Seth Rollins, your Cody Rhodes, your LA Knights, because he's the main eventer. It just feels weird that Brock's not going to be there.
It's a shame because I would love to have had this handshake followed up on in terms of a promo from Brock Lesnar. Like, why did he do it? We've never seen Brock Lesnar really shake anybody's hand throughout his entire history in the WWE. He shook Cody Rhodes' hand, so I'd like to hear why.
Yeah, absolutely. It did feel kind of like a giving back moment for him, and it's sort of like he realizes that his career is maybe winding down a little bit, and this is going to be his giving back phase. But Wrestling Observer Radio saying Brock Lesnar was originally advertised for one of the pay-per-views later this year, but he's not going to be on it. He's going to be gone for a while. He'll be back for Mania season. He is coming back, so that's at least glad that I think maybe Royal Rumble will maybe start to see the wheels of motion starting with Brock's return.
Hopefully with a new pair of shorts.
And a new cowboy hat. I want another one.
But that was a big hole in those cowboy shorts, wasn't it?
Oh, the big hole.
Almost met Cock Lesnar.
Yeah, we did.
Right, that was it for news video 32 of the day. There's a third one coming, which was shot in the past. I don't know why I said that, but there we go. SummerSlam content, go and check that out. The deep dive on the Jey Uso thing on the channel as well. Anything for you to plug, anyone?
Was SummerSlam the worst show ever? I don't know, but I did one in 1996.
Oh, gosh.
Did one on SummerSlam 1996, which is one of the worst shows ever. So go and check that out on the channel right now.
Lovely. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.